What's up, everybody? Wait for some folks to get in. Want to go over something real quick. First and foremost, for everybody that's going to tap into this, I'm yet again blocked on Instagram. Yet again blocked on Instagram. So we're going to start adapting and putting content here that needs to be here. Okay. We got to talk about these things. I just very quickly kind of want to let some folks get in here. Who's that? Cute but cute. What's up? Michael Smith. What's up? J Dub. Melinda Gordon. Real quick, everybody, make sure you hit you guys are subscribing, hitting the like, sharing this live. It won't be too long, but again, I'm putting this live out because this YouTube channel is underutilized. That's number one. Number two, I'm yet again blocked on Instagram from going live from the official Black Guns Matter page, as well as my main page, Maj Toure. So outside of that, we want to make sure everybody's subscribing, sharing the channel, all that other good stuff. This currently will be the primary place where we're going to talk about gun-related stuff, but more freedom-related stuff, as well as I do have another channel, youtube.com/Maj Toure, where I actually want to start putting more content over there that has more to do with life and not so much, put more gun stuff on this channel. So, shalom, brother. Why are they blocking me? That's what Instagram do. I want us to be clear, and that's a great segue of a question that goes into the subject matter of this particular live. We are dealing with the downfall of masculinity, and I say that not in dramatic terms. I say that in realistic terms. The brother just asked, why are they blocking? Again, everybody that wants to support the work, support the content, support Black Guns Matter, please, super chat, whatever that stuff is, do that. So if you have questions, do that there. Why am I being blocked? I'm being blocked for the same reasons that most solid, more specifically Black, but not limited to. And I want to say that because anything that's dealing with the strengthening of masculinity, and Black people are at the center of that scope. Okay, when we talk about, Black Guns Matter, the reason there shouldn't have been a need for that organization to exist. Okay, that organization shouldn't have a need. There shouldn't have been a need for it to exist because we kind of handled all of this in the and I say we, I wasn't there, right? Well, when I say we, I'm talking about this nation and the forming documents or foundational documents dealt with this whole human inalienable and natural right to keep and bear arms. But then right after that, there was legislation, the state, designed to stop people, Black people, melanated beings from having the means to defend themselves. If you follow me on all of these different platforms, y'all know that point. I've made that point a million bajillion times. That's a form of neutering a person when you say that this is a human right to defend life, natural right, because that's where all of this stuff comes from. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution, these are natural rights and natural law and human rights codified. They wrote down what was the reality of nature. So when you on one hand say this is a human right and then say, oh, except for you people, that creates the need for those people to come up with means to defy that falsehood. Okay. Now we fast forward a bit when we're talking about not only just firearms related stuff, Hollywood Weird and places like that are obviously over time, they'll make money from the movies that show firearms and shooting and all of those different things. But at the same time, they will be very staunchly anti-gun. They walk a very thin line. They'll promote all of the guns. And a lot of times in a comical to a gun person, to a very caricaturized way, like in the movies, right? Every time they present a gun, it makes a sound. Click, 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 click. And it's funny to somebody that knows, but to somebody that doesn't, it's programming, right? So they walk this thin line and they make sure that anyone that's talking about firearms is either criminalized and or a superhero, which is unreal, right? It's not real. And if I can make someone a criminal and they're the bad guy through skillful media manipulation, anything that I do to them is okay because they're the bad guy. Now, this ties into the downfall of masculinity because as men, we primarily have two jobs, protection and provision. I wrote a great article that'll be coming out. Curtis Schoon, shouts to the OG Schoon, Schoon TV on, I think, on social media, on Twitter. And you can see the website. I forget the website. But anyway, I'm going to start writing articles for different, like platforms. And this is one of them. And I wrote in that article, and it really made me really think, and wanted to share this on live, but I'm blocked. But manhood is the ability to protect and provide. And if we have the ability or take away the ability from a group of people to protect, then it's very easy to make them incapable of providing or provision. And as the leader of a household, the male, my job is to do that. So this isn't necessarily just an attack on guns. We're talking about a mainstream media narrative that, or not even mainstream, or corporatized media. Because I believe that when you have a conversation with the general public or mainstream America, if we're isolating this conversation to America, the general public agrees with the concept of people being safe. Okay. The general public is like, hey, if you got guns, we want you to be safe with them. I might not be the best or coolest person around. They may not feel comfortable with guns, and explaining to people in a safe and responsible manner what firearms are for protection for robbers, rapists, killers, tyrannical government. Generally, people agree. So the mainstream narrative is that. The corporatized media false narrative that's being pushed is the opposite. That's just isolated to firearms. When we start having a larger conversation in regards to the other areas of emasculation of men, removal of masculine energy, when we have that conversation, we have to look at the great Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, all of the areas of human activity, entertainment, education, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, all of those different areas of human activity where manhood is deliberately being attacked. Deliberately. It's not an accident. It's not a oops. It's just very difficult. It's easy to see it. You can connect those dots, but it's difficult to prove how they're doing it in regards to how are they getting some people that have bigger platforms to agree to this. Now, what I mean by that is, how I get told all of the time, somebody said on my backup page, follow me there too on Instagram, Mr. Maj Toure, somebody type that in here, MrMajToure, right? It's my backup page just in case the main one gets taken down. Somebody said on that page, you bought you in somebody's pocket. First of all, my number would be so motherfucking high that y'all probably wouldn't see me anymore. That's number one. Number two, thank you, Acute. Number two, that's just not true. So to be able to prove that someone's been paid off is a very difficult thing, okay? Without almost getting to state levels of violation of their private rights to find out where they money at, where they spending it, to prove that is a very difficult thing. But you got to ask the question of damn, how do we get Dwayne Wade to legit let his 13-year-old boy, a 12 or 13-year-old is I believe that our children are geniuses and we can cultivate that genius, but generally 12 or 13-year-olds don't have a major grasp on their life choices. Okay. How do we get Dwayne Wade, played basketball, rose to the height of his profession? How do we get him to stand idly by while his woman and society in general celebrates that child making a life-altering decision at 12, 13 years old, juxtaposed with the contradiction of saying that young people aren't that smart? You got to wait until you're 18 to vote. You got to wait till you're 21 to smoke, 21 to drink, so forth and so on, right? So we're dealing with that. How do we get people to agree with that? And that's difficult to prove, but there is absolutely an agenda. I'm sharing with you all this from the perspective, obviously, on the Black Guns Matter page. Again, everybody hit all of the likes or whatever those things are. You know what I mean? To boost those algorithms, right? Comment again if you want to do a super chat, donate. Cool, that's great. When you step back from the elephant and look at how big this picture is, we have on all levels, from the elementary grade level to pre-K. My daughter opened a book that I bought for her from a black bookstore locally. And in the bookstore, in the book, I thought it was going to be like, it said A for activist. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trapped by this concept of activist. I'm an activist. I am actively doing something, right? I am active in our communities, right? So I think that, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, activist means fake woke, right? I'm actually active. So I thought the book would be great. And then as we scroll through, L is for LGBTQ. Now, don't get me wrong. You as an adult, I don't give a fuck what you do. I personally identify as a lesbian, me myself personally. Okay. In all seriousness, though, what someone does, I don't care about as an adult. I want you to be free. I want you to experience whatever your moral, spiritual, life, whatever level of liberty is for you. I want you to do that. But I want my 5-year-old to make these decisions as she becomes, more age appropriate for those decisions. And if she's 5 and that book that I gave her, right, because I'm like, okay, I flipped through a few of it's the alphabet. So in my mind, it's like, okay, A is for activist, B is for blue, whatever, right? If it is impacted or potentially infiltrated at that level of age group, and it's about spinning it into femininity, and it's about her dad being a gun owner, being the bad guy, or firearms, or my hardcore stance on certain issues is certain shit I just don't do. That's somehow being presented as so-called toxic. That tells you the culture war that you are in. Mind you, this is supposedly from people that are from a Judeo-Christian standpoint. In my understanding, the Judeo-Christian standpoint is about making things as a child grows to be a man, let him put away childish things. So I step back and I look at all of the areas of human activity, and I recognize that this attack is very, very much so on. Nickelodeon's ratings just dropped tremendously because they just tried to sneak in openly subversive mission where they tried to do this whole drag queen thing. And huge shouts to folks like Angela Stanton King for highlighting these things on her social media platforms. To a point where if I challenge someone that is disrespectful to me to a physical fight, right? If we disagree and you want to take it a little bit further, we can have a physical altercation, shake hands, and move on. Somebody wins, somebody loses. That is being presented as toxic. We're talking about voluntary. Hey, man, we're going to get some of this aggression out. We're talking about one of my favorite shows being The Office, right? We're talking about characters that currently right now, and Michael Scott, the main character of this television show, was as soft as they come, but had strong opinions on things. And the jokes that he told, now people that want to see the show make a revamp, let's say, oh, that show could never exist in 2020, 2021. Why the fuck couldn't the show exist? It couldn't exist because saying certain things goes against a liberal agenda. Liberal, not in the classic sense of the term. Liberal in the sense of any fucking thing goes. Not liberal in the sense of freedom and liberty, but anything fucking goes. Having someone that creates clear lines in the sand between what's acceptable, whether this person is comedic or aggressive, when your speech is being altered to the extent that conversation about certain things from a humorous standpoint isn't allowed, this tells you are in the middle of fucking the kill zone culturally. And I want us to really step back and look at that, because and the leaders of any war, physical primarily, are men. when you're being told that you are not allowed to be aggressive, when you're being told that certain things can't be discussed, when you're being told that the ownership of firearms is somehow tied to a small dick or all of these other different, misnomers, when you're being told that Father's Day is up in, on the way, and the vast majority of people, or some people from certain demographics, are being caught in this "I'm the mother and the father" bullshit. No, you're not. Even if you're just a single mom, you're a single mom. You're not a dad. You're not. You might have slept with somebody that wasn't a dad either, was just a male, but you're not a dad. This conditioning is akin to anyone that opposes COVID, so-called lockdowns or government overreach. If you're a strong man and you say, "Nah, I'm not wearing that mask. No, I don't want to," and you stand firm, somehow you're problematic. I want everybody to step back and see how this is all common denominator shit. They are trying to make the strongest of us the weakest of us. And some of you that aren't as strong as others are going to fall in line if you get so-called alpha males to fall in line. If we kill masculinity, if we kill the protector, if we neuter and castrate the protector, we can get the women easy. This is a very classic, I haven't read a lot more recently, but I've read a lot. This is nothing but buck breaking. This is the same concept of getting someone, snatch him off the slave ship, get the strongest of them, draw and quarter that person in front of all of the other people, because if that's the dominant physical attribute, then everybody falls in fear. This is the same thing. And all of our progressive brothers and sisters, that I'm talking about, the ones not at the top of the pyramid, the ones that are falling victim to that same narrative, don't think you safe because you've neutered all of the warriors. You're not safe because you allowed Joe Biden to say, "Hey, we want to stop all of these AR-15s." You're not safe. You're just next. We just got to get priority one out of the way first. The people that would actually defend the constitutional republic, that would defend natural law and human rights, that would defend the people. We got to get rid of them first. We have to criminalize them. We have to put them in jail. We have to make men that say they have the right, in alignment with constitutional values, they have the right to carry the means to defend themselves wherever they roam on this planet. We have to make you think that somehow that makes that person criminal, because this is a war of hearts and minds. So if we, as our progressive brothers and sisters, and let me be clear, y'all are still my brothers and sisters. You may end on different opposite ends of the spectrum currently politically, because you haven't read enough, or you just really feel like guns are bad. That's not the end all be all. We're looking at the docile, timid, humble, non-expressive American version of what they've made a lot of the people in China to be. Remember about a year or so ago, maybe closer to 2 at this point, where all of the people in China were a lot of people in China were waving American flags and saying they wanted a Second Amendment and appealing to Donald Trump. Remember that? Then that stopped showing up on television. There was a few amount of people over in a seriously totalitarian or authoritarian state under this, Chinese Communist Party, at least speaking up for some of these serious human rights violations. That disappeared. We are looking at a subtler, going the speed limit version of that's palpable for the American public. And if they can continue to remove the strong men, it'll be easier to do that. So my progressive brothers and sisters, you aren't safe under that. You're just next. What food you eat? What working out do you do? How strong are you? It's going to get down to a certain point. It gets down to germs and steel. Do I have the means to defend the things that keep me alive in this physical shell? If we can convince the masses to look at that as a negative, then we win. We can win a war over 50 years without even firing a shot, because you will be complacent. You will own nothing and you will like it. That's the rhetoric. Fuck you. People like me say fuck you to that agenda. And it's needed. How much water did you drink today? Acute but cute said, don't eat soy, man. It has plant estrogen. These slang terms, soy boy, that's not just coming out of nowhere. That's not an attack on our gay brothers and sisters in that regard. It's speaking to you're becoming more feminine than masculine. Your testosterone is being replaced with estrogen because of the fact that we want you to be docile and timid. We want the doing the speed limit version of submissive portions of the Chinese population here. We want a social credit system. And if they're blocking me on Instagram for just even hinting at this, that we're here now, which is, have, like Nip said, having strong enemies is a blessing. We have to make sure that in recognizing that they're trying to block us on that platform, what are they doing in real life? Why are there so many chemtrails? Why is it that major cities, this liberal agenda, these soft dudes are running around? And we're not talking about them, because I want to be clear here. I do believe that there's certain traits or overly aggressive things that are toxic. When I was in school, our school looked like a jail. If any of y'all seen that movie, Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman, that was based on a true story. That wasn't my high school, but it kind of looked like that. And in that school, people, they had metal detectors. People bring guns into school. People that got stabbed. That's why this section of my beard don't grow in. I got stabbed in the face. See that right there? And the hair never really grew back. Nerve damage. I got cut in the face and the hair never really grew back. That was in high school. So that misguided masculinity or aggression, say it that way, because it's not masculine. It's chaos. That misguided aggression is not what we're striving for. The music that is over aggressive only to demonize and make people that look like yourself the enemy, that's not what our goal is. All of the songs, I'll shoot him, I'll kill him, I'll shoot, brat, brat, brat. Never say nothing about shooting enemies of the people. Never saying nothing about defending your land. Never saying nothing about, looking at the true enemy of your human right to exist on these lands. But that's promoted. That's promoted. So we got to recognize that difference. There is a difference between a genuinely aggressive and very dangerous man that has it under control, that's a good person, and someone that's reactionary to anything based on some false insecurities that has been programmed into him over time via music or culture. Okay? Those extreme opposite ends of the spectrum. We don't deal in extremes. We Jedi. That's that Sith Lord shit. So I'm saying these things because I really want us to step back and recognize in all of the areas, where these attacks are happening. And at the same time, recognizing the difference. We ain't going to correct to the point where it's non-correct. I was watching a show on Netflix a few days ago called the Upshaws. I think that's what it's called, with Mike Epps and what's her name from Living Single. I forget her name, but anyway, in the show, he's presenting as a loving father, no doubt, but highly incompetent. Highly got to depend on his woman for protection provision. The irony is he's a mechanic that owns a shop in the show, but somehow he can't make ends meet. This is the propaganda. I know a lot of mechanics. If you're on top of your business, business is booming. But they'll push this narrative that this man is incapable, has to steal from his woman, it's just fumbling, bumbling idiot. And this is supposed to be comedy. That's not comedy. This is called a television program designed to condition you to think that this is the standard, and it's not. There's an overall agenda to make men look like, especially black men, not limited to, but to make men look like clowns, jokes, children in adult bodies. I'll give you another example, because somebody just said, it's Netflix. It's Netflix. What do you expect? A strong man? Yes, I do. I expect us to stand firm and call that out and make sure that we're representing strong men and stepping away from things that ain't strong men. Okay? It's another show that I saw this happen, and I was a big fan of this show for a while. I thought it was a funny show. I like that type of dry humor and like documentary style show. Obviously, I'm a fan of The Office. Modern Family. Let me give you all an example. Season 1 and maybe season 2. Al Bundy's character, the dad, the patriarch that had all of the money, that was married to the Latin shorty with the, with the top heavy, I'm talking about. He made money. He had a closet company. His family, he's the progenitor. He's handling it. If you notice on that show, over the seasons, they made that father figure very, very soft. They gave him a little cute puppy. They made him like more so-called tolerant. And I'm not opposing tolerance. I'm saying you literally can watch from season 1 to, as the seasons progress, the progressive agenda was there. And they made the patriarch that made the money, that did all of this thing, they made him soft and neutered him right before our eyes. We have to be the non-silent majority. We're the majority, but that taking solace in being the silent majority, that's stupid. That's stupid. That's dumb. You got to get louder. When Nickelodeon tried that whole, we're going to push drag over the last few weeks, more people spoke up and their ratings dropped. When we look at and watch shows with our children and see the subtle agenda, there's some TV show that my daughter was watching where the one big cartoon dude, black dude, is always in like the subservient role, muscular dude, always in the dress and this and that. Why does my child need to be exposed to that? Because it's part of the agenda. And it's an attack not only on masculinity for young boys, but to condition young girls to not even identify with something that's strong as a protector and hold them to the standard of a protector and a provider. This is an attack. It's more insidious, nefarious, and dangerous because it's hard to grasp. It's like smoke. It's like the smoke on this sage. You can't catch smoke with your hand. You know it's there, and you can even see it, but it's hard to grasp. We have to be much more vocal and be the loud majority. Otherwise, we are leaving our youth, our culture, our values, our way of life, and our fear, and I use that word very, very delicately, I fear the forward movement of this nation that we happen to live in. Now, me, I'm in a financial space where I can just go to another country. But if everybody keeps going to another country, the ground keeps shrinking underneath your feet. This is a global agenda. This ain't like, oh, we only going to do this to the people that live in New Hampshire. Oh, we only going to do this to the black community. That's how they keep it going. Oh, we only doing it to those people over there. It's saying the same thing to the other side. I'm just telling y'all, man, be louder. Men, get your ass in the gym. Stop eating the foods that are in addition to the pussification of America. Women, hold your man to a standard of strength. Hold your man to a standard of strength. What is he putting in his body visually? What is he allowing? What is he allowing from you? And there's a way to do that, to encourage and support and challenge without being disrespectful. To us all, stop entertaining anyone that is not for the promotion, support, maintenance, and expansion of the family. Don't talk about them. Don't watch them. Tune out. Make it financially dangerous to even entertain these things. Because if not, the age groups will get younger and younger. The conditioning will become more and more swift. And your natural rights to exist will become further and further in the motherfucking rearview mirror. I want to thank you all for listening. I appreciate you. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share this all over your platforms. Again, we are going to be doing more lives, giving more content. Again, this was not about guns per se. Please subscribe to youtube.com/Maj Toure, where we'll be having more of these type of discussions and going lives and things of that nature. I'm pretty sure that channel, I made that so many years ago and I just never used it. I'm pretty sure that channel is not as shadow banned as others. But we have to start having these conversations. It can't just be about guns all the time. It has to be about culture, economics, politics, religion, all of those areas of human activity that we discussed earlier. So again, everybody, please share this video, subscribe, donate. I'll put all of this stuff in the bio. Oh, solutionarylifestyle.org. I hope to see all of you where we're having a 2-day event where we're discussing these types of things at the next Solutionary Summit in Miami. That's September the 3rd through the 5th. There's different ticket prices. We got $1,000 package where you on a yacht learning from Green Berets and all of this other stuff. So go to solutionarylifestyle.org. Please tweet that out, man. We want to fill the space this coming fall where it'll be nice and warm in Miami. I look forward to meeting all of you down there, busting it up, chopping it up, and presenting solutions to the people that we all can practically apply in our everyday life. All right. Thank y'all. Be safe. Be solutionary.